Okay, so this is sneaky SAT Algebra Level 1, and here's number 1. So remember, whenever we multiply two binomials together, these are each binomials because they each have two terms, we have to FOIL, right? We have to FOIL. So FOIL is an acronym. It stands for first, inside, outside, last. So we multiply these terms together, these terms together, the inside terms, the outside terms together, and the last terms together. So our job is to multiply all these pairs of terms together and add everything together. So x times x is x squared, x times y is xy, y times, I'll do that in a second actually. Let's do x times that y is minus xy, and over here we have minus y squared. Okay, so the middle terms cancel. I have a plus xy and a minus xy, so the answer is x squared minus y squared. Okay, number 2 says 3x squared times x plus y, and now we need to distribute the 3x squared. So first, what is 3x squared times x? It's 3x cubed. And now what is 3x squared times y? It's just 3x squared y. And that's it. Okay, I know number 3 is tiny, tiny, tiny. Make sure you can print out this worksheet from below or look at it below so you can see everything that's happening. But this says 2xy plus x over x. So the important thing here is that the x is going to cancel from each term. So it's going to cancel there, and it's going to cancel here. So my first term, I just have 2y left over, and x over x is just 1. So there is my first term simplified, or my whole equation simplified. Okay, so next we are factoring, and if you don't have your rules or you forget them, there is the guide for this section that's also available below, and here's our perfect square factoring rules on here in case you've forgotten them. So we need to factor this guy. Notice that our first term, 4x squared, is a perfect square, because 4 is a perfect square, and 9y squared is a perfect square, so these are good hints that we can perfect square factor this sucker. Okay, so what is the square root of 4x squared? It is 2x, okay, and then plus, and the square root of 9y squared is 3y. So it should factor like this. It's always good to check these if you have time. So the way to check them is just to FOIL. Let's see here, when we FOIL this, the first and last terms will be just fine. Let's check out this middle term though. So let's think, let me grab some scratch paper here. So to check this answer, let's do 2x plus 3y times 2x plus 3y. Okay, first, inside, outside, last. So that's 4x squared. Now we have plus 6xy. Now we have plus 6xy plus 9y squared. Alrighty. So this is 4x squared plus 12xy plus 9y squared. Okay. So shoot, that does not match. Where did that 72 come from? Let's see. 4, 9. I think I made an error on the sheet. I'm gonna try to fix this. If I don't get a chance, then this should be a 12. It should be a 12. Alrighty. Number 5 says x cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 5. We want to factor this. This is factoring by grouping, which you've seen in school most likely. So I'll write the problem down nice and big. X cubed minus 5x squared minus x plus 5. So we're going to deal with this guy in pairs. So let's work on the first pair first. So we'll pull out an x squared from there. So x squared times x minus 5, just like that. And from here, I'm not going to pull out anything actually. I'm just going to pull out, we'll call it a 1, but I'm going to say plus 1 times, so this is an important point. When you do factoring by grouping, whatever you have here has to match whatever you end up with here. And for these to match, I'm going to have to pull out a minus 1. Let me show you why. If I pull out a minus 1, then on the inside here I get x minus 5. And this works because think about minus 1 times x is minus x. and minus 1 times minus 5 is plus 5. All right, so now if you have the same thing here and here, then you can factor out this whole term, and I get x minus 5 times x squared minus 1. So there you go, that's factoring by grouping. And again, you can FOIL to check if you need to. All right, oh, one more step on that one actually. So this guy can go even further. This is a perfect square factor, so we can do x minus 5 times x plus 1 times x minus 1. That's perfect square factoring. Okay, so that's number 5. Number 6 says 400 minus 36v squared. And on these, I always want you to think about GCF factoring first. So always try to think about GCF first, because it might make your life easier. So let's see, can we GCF factor this? I'm going to write down the problem. It says 400 minus 36v squared. So are there any common factors here? Let's try 4. So if I pull a 4 out, I'll have 4 times 100 minus 9v squared, and this is looking promising because notice that 100 is a perfect square, and so is 9. Okay, and this is a difference of perfect squares, so I should be able to factor it. Let's give it a shot. So it'll be 400 times 10 minus 3v times 10 plus 3v. All right, so if you don't feel okay about that, then have a careful look at it. Try it again, look at your factoring rules, but that's the idea. That's going to be the right answer on this problem. We did GCF and then perfect square. Okay, so now we're on to real SAT style problems. This says if 3x plus 3 or 2x plus 3 equals 2, what is the value of 2x plus 1? Well, let's see here. Notice that these are related. This is why it's on the sneaky algebra section. We can save time. Yes, you could solve for x, but I wanna get in the habit of saving time on the SAT because time is so important. So to solve for 2x plus 1, all I have to do, let me take my original equation here. It's 2x plus 3 equals 2. And I would like to turn this into 2x plus 1. So to do that, I can subtract 2 from both sides. That way I have 2x plus 1 over here, which is exactly what I want, equals, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So the answer is C, 0. Okay, number 8 says, if the square root of 7 equals x minus 5, what is the value of x minus 5 squared? Okay, so we're going to save time on this guy too. We're going to try to be as sneaky as possible. So I'm going to write square root of 7 equals x minus 5. And now notice I'm solving for x minus 5 squared. So I'm just going to square both sides. So I'll do square root of 7 squared equals x minus 5 squared. All right, so we have 7 equals x minus 5, and they're squared, excuse me, and they're looking for x minus 5 squared, so the answer must be C, 7. All right, that was nice and fast, didn't take too long, we didn't waste any time on it. Okay, 9 looks a little bit tougher. It says if 1/2 x minus y times x plus y equals 160, and x plus y equals 80, what is the value of x minus y? Okay, so I think there's some room to be a little bit sneaky here. So let's see what we can do. So notice we already have x plus y. We know what it is. It's 80. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. So I'll write 1/2 x minus y, just like the formula says. And I know what x plus y is. It's just 80. So I'll write times 80 equals 160. Okay, and they're asking for the value of x minus y. So I'm just going to solve for this. So let's see, how do I want to make this less painful? I'm going to go ahead and put these together first. So 1/2 times 80 is 40. So 40x minus y equals 160. And now I'll divide both sides by 40. And I get x minus y equals 40. All right, hopefully that'll be an answer. Let's check it out. Oh, this is a free response. Okay, yeah, so our answer is going to be 40. Does that match my key on the bottom here for number 9? Number 9. Oh, I said 4. Oh yeah, yep. So here we go. So 160 over 40 is not 40. Hopefully you caught that mistake. So it's just 4. All right, there we go. Okay, so our next problem says, if 1/3 times x minus 1 equals 3, what is the value of, I know this is small, I'll write it a little bigger, x plus 1 over x minus 1. Okay, let's see here. Well, I can solve for x minus 1 using this equation. Let's try that first. That's part of our answer is x minus 1. Think of this kind of like as a puzzle. We're trying to put together all the puzzle pieces here. Don't think of it just like a normal math problem. So I have this guy, and I want to solve for x minus 1. I want to get that alone on one side. So to do that, I will multiply both sides by 3. So 3 times both sides, because 3 is the opposite of 1/3. These cancel. It's the reciprocal, I guess I should say, is the best word for that. And 3 times 3 is 9. So I have x minus 1 equals 9. Great. Okay, so if x minus 1 is 9, what is x plus 1? Well, you could solve this in your head almost. So if you add 1 to both sides, you get x equals 10. So x plus 1 must be 11. So there we go. We have x plus 1. We have x minus 1. So now we can combine them to get our answer. So let's try it. So x plus 1 is 11. Over x minus 1 is 9, and there you go. That should be our answer. Let's check my key, and it agrees. So 11 over 9, 11 over 9. Okay, great. Number 11 says 5x minus 15 equals 25. What is the value of x minus 3? Okay, so let's see if we can make x minus 3 pop out of this equation without explicitly solving for it. Again, this is all about saving time and taking advantage of little tricks on the SAT. So I would like to get x minus 3 somehow. Let's see, I see that I could maybe do GCF factoring. Let's give it a shot. So I have 5x minus 15 equals 25. I can factor out a 5 from this side, so I get 5 times, oh, and look at that, I get 5 times x minus 3 equals 25. That's what I'm looking for. So to totally solve for this, I'll divide both sides by 5, because it's multiplied here, and I will get x minus 3 equals 5. Alrighty. And that is answer choice B, and that matches my key. Great. Okay, number 12 says, if 8x plus 3 equals 2, what is the value of 8x minus 4? Okay, this is like that first one a little bit. So we know that 8x plus 3 is equal to 2, and I would like to solve for 8x minus 4. So how do I turn this into 8x minus 4? Well, my 3 needs to become a negative 4. So to turn a 3 into a negative 4, I need to subtract what number? I need to subtract 7. So I'll do minus 7 on both sides, and I'll get 8x minus 4 is equal to minus 5. And there you go. So the answer should be minus 5. That's answer choice A, and that matches my key, even though I didn't write I just wrote the number on my key, but that's fine. Okay, so that is Sneaky SAT Algebra Level 1. I want you to be fast and comfortable with these kinds of problems.